One day, while taking pictures, Mitsuyoshi coincidentally meets the foreign blonde girl, Teresa. Their first encounter is a total tech fail because her camera is dead, so they have to settle for just using her SD card to capture the vibes. She manages to leave without her card, which triggers a second meeting when her handkerchief yeets itself toward Mitsuyoshi, giving him the perfect excuse to follow her. He soon discovers that Teresa is a massive fan of Rainbow Shogun, a legendary Japanese drama that she's clearly simping for. For the third time, he finds her absolutely soaked in the rain because she was trying to act as a human shield for a stray cat. Mitsuyoshi shares his umbrella, and since he's being such a gentleman, she basically thinks he's the real-life Rainbow Shogun. Since her navigation skills are total trash and she's lost, he invites her back to his family's cafe to dry off. The moment they walk in, his sister Yui starts asking if she's the new girlfriend, but Mitsuyoshi is quick to hit the deny button. Teresa introduces herself, and everyone is instantly mesmerized by her beauty. Even the grandpa is feeling the main character energy she's radiating. Since she's still drenched, Yui lends her a fresh fit, and Teresa uses their phone to ping her companion before she completely disappears. While she's enjoying the snacks, the family cat, Nyanko Big, decides she's top tier purely because she's easy on the eyes. Suddenly, the narcissistic Koru makes a flashy entrance but gets instantly obliterated by a cat attack, which Mitsuyoshi captures for the cat's blog because the content is just too good. Koru spots Teresa and immediately assumes she's Mitsuyoshi's girlfriend, which is becoming a recurring theme. The MC denies it again, so Koru decides to start simping for her blonde hair instead, but his luck is about to run out. Alec appears out of nowhere and mistakes Koru for a threat, sending him flying into the sky with a high-damage kick. Once she realizes he was just a harmless weirdo, Alec drops an apology for the unintended combat. Mitsuyoshi just blames Koru for the chaos, and the poor guy is now so terrified of Alec that he retreats with just a salty glare. After the fight, they discuss how Teresa got separated on the subway, classic newcomer mistake, and Yui tries to console her with some deep book quotes. Teresa reveals she's actually cracked at Japanese, and it turns out she learned it all from binging Rainbow Shogun. Grandpa is hyped because he loves that show too, forming a bridge across the generation gap. Karu asks for their spawn location and learns they're from Larsenburg, which sounds fancy. Karu wants to visit, but the group starts roasting Mitsuyoshi because his fear of heights means airplanes are his final boss. Finally, Alec decides it's time to log out, and Teresa expresses her gratitude before they vanish into the city. Meanwhile, Koru is nursing a black eye that's seriously nerfing his narcissistic vibes, especially since Yui says he looks like a panda. On the walk home, Alec is scolding Teresa for being so laid back about getting lost. She's basically playing life on easy mode. The girls are struggling with the map, repeatedly walking down the same streets like a bug in an open-world game. At the same time, Koru and Mitsuyoshi are trying to find subjects for a photography contest, though Koru only wants to photograph himself. He sees a mannequin that looks like Teresa, and just like that, she appears in Mitsuyoshi's camera lens for real. They meet for the fourth time, which has to be fate, and the boys guide them to the Grand Palace Ginza, which is literally right next to their cafe. Alec is disappointed because the place looks humble, but later that night, Mitsuyoshi notices Teresa's eyes look just like his cat's, pure green perfection. The next day, Mitsuyoshi and Koru get the shock of their lives when Teresa and Alec introduce themselves as the new transfer students in their class. Teresa and Alec become instant celebrities at school because, well, look at them. Class rep Hinako takes them on a tour of the clubs, eventually stopping at the photography club where the vibes are immediately sus. They overhear the president Hajime discussing female anatomy with the boys, which is a massive disappointment for the girls. Hajime starts yelling at Teresa because she almost touched his rare photos of Hina, his favorite graver idol, which almost triggers Alec into combat mode. Hajime explains his obsession, and Teresa understands by calling Hina the Rainbow Shogun of idols. She really uses that drama for everything. Alec realizes class rep Hinako is actually the idol Hina in disguise, but she keeps that tea to herself. They find out Hinako only joined the club to stop it from being deleted by the school, which leads to her bickering with Hajime. Alec is hesitant, but Teresa's hype level convinces her to join the club for a one-day trial run. The technical side of photography is way too complex for the newcomers, so Koru suggests a traditional club game to keep it spicy. They grab their gear and head outside, where Alec discovers that Koru is strangely popular with the NPCs. Mitsuyoshi whistles and the final party member appears, the human golden retriever Kentaro. It's time for a 3v4 photography battle. Team A with Mitsuyoshi, Teresa, and Kentaro versus Team B with the rest of the squad. The rules are simple. Take pictures of the other team while avoiding being captured on film yourself. Kentaro literally starts sniffing out the competition like a dog, but Mitsuyoshi can't get a shot of Alec because she's moving like a high-level ninja. With 5 minutes on the clock, Team A uses a rare Hina fan to bait Hajime, obliterating his defenses and capturing all the photos they need. Team B goes on the offensive and corners Team A in the cooking room, thanks to Alec's sharp senses. Alec captures them but notices Teresa is genuinely scared, so she fakes a shoe tie to let them escape. True friendship right there. In round 2, Team B splits up, but a janitor accidentally splashes Hinako and Hajime with dirty water. Hajime tanks the hit to shield Hinako, though he's mostly worried about his camera being nerfed by the water. Mitsuyoshi and Teresa catch them, but Teresa fumbles and records a video instead of a photo. Huge rookie mistake. Hajime and Hinako try to escape, but Kentaro appears and startles Hajime into a peace sign pose. Talk about a perfect shot. Mitsuyoshi and Teresa are losing it laughing, and Alec captures their joyful expressions just as time runs out. Alec's photo is the clear winner, and Teresa is so hyped that she decides to officially join the club. They head back to the cafe to celebrate the new members, though Nyanko Big still refuses to welcome Kentaro or Koru. Saturday morning, the cat recalls being saved by Mitsuyoshi a decade ago, and decides to wake him up by yeeting himself onto his face. After the family ritual of paying respects to their parents, Mitsuyoshi heads to the balcony and sees Teresa. The smell of fish from her house lures Nyanko Big into a jumping fail that is absolutely hilarious. Later, the girls help out at the cafe, and Nyanko Big continues his campaign against Koru because he thinks he's annoying. A hitman-looking guy enters, followed by a couple ordering a kappa sandwich, which is just a fancy name for cucumbers, much to Teresa's confusion. Nyanko Big notices a young couple and counts down from 8 seconds, the literal speedrun time for falling in love. He concludes they're already obsessed with each other, while Teresa hands out chocolate spoons to the group. Koru roasts Alec's flavor choices, but Teresa offers a taste to Mitsuyoshi. Even though he hates sweets, he drinks directly from her cup, leaving her completely stunned. Grandpa talks to Nyanko Big on the street, and the cat is shook because the old man actually understands cat speak. The whole club is out for a spring contest, and Koru keeps warning everyone about Kappa. He's clearly traumatized. He remembers Mitsuyoshi saving him from the water back in the day when he thought a Kappa was attacking. Teresa shares that Alec once saved her from a river too, which ended with Alec crying because she was so worried. Kentaro mentions that Mitsuyoshi's dad was a legendary photographer, which is his motivation to reach that level one day. A cat named Cherry appears, and Nyanko Big locks eyes with her. The 8-second timer starts. He tries to leap toward her but fumbles and falls into the river, failing his charisma check. Cherry just ignores his struggle while Kentaro starts calling him Nyanko Small, causing him to lose his balance again. Teresa catches the cat with Mitsuyoshi supporting her, leading to a long, intense stare between the two humans. Back home, Nyanko Big is worried he's too distracted by his crush on Cherry to look after Mitsuyoshi anymore. Hajime bursts into the clubroom crying because he won a meet and greet with his idol Hina. The catch, he's totally awkward around girls and can't even take a photo of one without panicking. Koru tells him to imagine Hina is there, which causes Hajime to literally faint from the pressure. He begs the group to go with him, but since they all say no, Teresa suggests he just needs some practice. He tries to use Mitsuyoshi as a stand-in, but quickly realizes that won't work for the vibes. Alec refuses to let him near Teresa, so Hinako is the only option left. Alone with her, Hajime is too terrified to speak, so Hinako tells him to just imagine it's her. He manages to call her by her first name, which catches her completely off guard. She tells him to take notes on what he likes about Hina, and he starts listing her best features, making Hinako blush. She teaches him a relaxation trick, writing the word person on your hand and swallowing it. During PE, Mitsuyoshi is failing miserably, but the girl's side is where the real action is. Hinako almost hits Teresa with a ball, but Alec parries the hit like a pro. Alec notices a bump on Hinako's head and hopes it heals before her idol gig, confirming she knows Hinako is Hina. The girls go to Alec's place to discuss her modeling career and how she started as a stand-in. Alec is glad Hajime doesn't know the truth, but Hinako defends him, saying he's actually gentle. She remembers him saving her when they were kids, confirming Alec's suspicion that Hinako is totally crushing on him. As the squad wraps up for the day, Mitsuyoshi decides to stay behind for some solo practice. Kentaro reveals that the MC's dad was actually a legendary photographer, which is exactly why our boy is grinding to reach that same level. Suddenly, a cat named Sherry pulls up, the same one Teresa saved from the rain. From the shadows, the absolute unit Mayanko big locks eyes with her, and after an 8-second stare down, he tries to make a move but ends up catching a massive L in the river instead. Sherry just gives him the cold shoulder and walks off while Mayanko struggles for his life, eventually climbing a tree like a total NPC. Kentaro starts trolling the poor cat, calling him Nanko Small, which tilted him so hard he lost his balance. Luckily, Teresa catches him mid-air while Mitsuyoshi provides the backup support. This leads to a high-tension moment where our leads just stare into each other's souls, giving Mayanko some serious, falling in love vibes. Back at the crib, Mayanko is having a midlife crisis, worried he can't look out for the MC anymore because he's officially down bad for Sherry. Over in the clubroom, Hajime storms in like a madman, flexing that he won a meet and greet with the top-tier idol Hina. But there's a catch. Even though he's the ultimate simp, he's actually terrified of girls and can't even take a decent photo of one. He claims he's done it before, but turns out the girl he photographed was actually a cross-dresser. The crew starts roasting him, and when they tell him to imagine Hina is right there, his brain literally short-circuits and he faints. Terrified of fumbling the bag, he begs everyone to go with him to the venue, but the squad hits him with the nah. Teresa suggests some social training, so he asks the group to help him practice his riz. Mitsuyoshi tries to step in as a stand-in, but he gets rejected instantly because he has zero waifu energy. Alec shuts down the idea of Teresa helping out, so that leaves Hinako as the only choice for the job. Now it's just Hajime and Hinako, but the man is so nervous he's basically forgotten how to speak English. Hinako tells him to breathe, but his lungs are clearly not cooperating right now. She tells him to just pretend she's Hina, and he actually manages to say her name, which caught her totally off guard. The struggle is real, so Hinako advises him to start taking notes like a true scholar. He starts listing everything he loves about her, and when he mentions her ears, she gets all flustered and tries to hide them. Before she leaves, she teaches him the old-school swallow the kanji trick to calm his nerves. Fast forward to PE class, where our MC is playing like a total bot and losing every single game. On the girls' side, Hinako almost sends a ball flying into Teresa's face, but Alec steps in with some op reflexes. Alec notices Hinako is hurt and hopes she heals before the meet and greet, which is when Hinako finally drops the bombshell. She is the idol Hina. The girls head back to talk shop about Hina's secret life as a model and how she got her start as a lucky stand-in. The topic shifts to Hajime, and Alec is glad he hasn't figured out the secret yet, but Hinako defends him, remembering the time he saved her back in the day. Alec calls it like it is. Hinako is definitely in love with the club president, leaving her totally shook. Alec says she should just tell him, but Hinako wants him to like her for who she really is, not just the idol persona. Finally, the meet and greet event is live, and the whole photography club party accompanies Hajime to the venue. Knowing the secret lore, Teresa covers for Hinako's absence like a true teammate. Hajime spawns in rocking some absolutely mid-clothing, which honestly cracks everyone up. They play a high-stakes game of rock-paper-scissors to see who has to lend him gear, and Mitsuyoshi takes a massive L. Meanwhile, Hinako is backstage equipping her Hina skin to prepare for the main quest. The event starts and fans are given a limited time window to talk with their favorite idol. It's finally Hajime's turn, now dressed in Mitsuyoshi's borrowed loot. He enters the room stiff as an NPC and enters rage mode, well, more like panic mode, when he realizes his notes have been deleted. Hinako is bracing for a game over reveal, but Hajime is too busy fumbling his social stats. Noticing his lag, Hinako asks about his relaxation techniques, which reminds Hajime of the trick she taught him during their practice grind. He draws the character for person on his hand and swallows it to clear his debuffs. By the time he finally stabilizes, his turn is basically over. In a final burst of energy, he thanks Hinako just for existing. The guards have to literally drag him out while he's still spamming thanks in the chat. Afterward, the squad celebrates at the cafe like they just cleared a high-level raid. He pings Hinako to tell her Hina was beautiful, while also thanking her for the swallowing people trick that saved his life. Later, during a visit to his parents' grave, Mitsuyoshi reminisces about his tragic backstory. Yui notes that nothing has changed in the server, except for Nyanko Big getting a massive weight buff. Koru arrives with the club to announce his 10th annual Koru Ijuin show, promising to cook whatever high-tier dishes they want. They take over the kitchen and yeet a reserved sign on the door to keep the random NPCs out. Koru is actually up in the kitchen since his family owns a legendary restaurant. He serves everyone's orders while acting like a total drama king. He's being extra flashy today, which is basically a direct nerf to Alec's patience. Meanwhile, Grandpa is watching Rainbow Shogun and gets confused why the MC obliterates opponents even after they answer correctly. The squad plays cards while the food is in the oven. Teresa and Mitsuyoshi finish their game first and go to help the chef. Upstairs, Teresa spots some old photos and admires a rainy day shot that perfectly matches Mitsuyoshi's artistic style. She learns it was the last loot captured before his parents were sent to the Shadow Realm. Teresa's empathy stat is maxed out, which actually catches the stoic Mitsuyoshi off guard. Koru breaks the tension by shouting that the feast is ready. They all hype up his cooking skills, except for Alec, who refuses to drop a compliment despite deleting her entire meal. Later, even in the rain, the show must go on as they head to a cento that Koru reserved. Teresa thinks cento means a combat zone, but Mitsuyoshi clarifies it's just a cozy bathhouse. The boys discuss how this is their first time in this specific zone. Hajime is being a creep and pretending the wall is transparent to peek at the girls' area. On the other side, Yui is worried her chest stats are too low, so Teresa reassures her that size is irrelevant in this meta. Yui then suggests Teresa should date her brother since they're both kind souls. Alec mentions a potential fiancé exists, but then calls it a joke to avoid leaking the lore. Yui asks Alec about her first love, but she denies ever catching feelings. Hearing the laughter, the guys assume the girls are having a 10-10 time. Koru starts teasing Hajime about his obvious crush on Hinako. Kentaro admits he's simping for an older girl, which makes Hajime ask about her assets immediately. Koru claims he's too up for anyone to handle, while Mitsuyoshi remains a lone wolf with no crush. Mitsuyoshi notices Hajime is turning red from the heat. His HP is getting low. Hajime slips on a Kappa-themed bowl and nearly deletes himself. He tanks the hit and survives, but Koru blames the literal Kappa for the sabotage. Mitsuyoshi keeps insisting that those cryptids aren't real. The show finally wraps up as they escort the girls to the station. Koru tells Mitsuyoshi to ping him if he ever has a problem, since he knows our MC is bad at sharing. Mitsuyoshi says he's fine, but Koru promises to keep this annual event alive forever. Yui explains to the girls that Koru has been doing this since their parents were ice-guyed 10 years ago. Even though they didn't vibe at first, Koru was the one who cheered up Mitsuyoshi after the accident, solidifying their bromance. Suddenly, a new character, Charles, visits Teresa during the holiday. He wants to check out her school life and suggests posing as a childhood friend instead of her fiancé. Once he's gone, Teresa asks if Alec is simping for Charles, which she admits but only out of respect. The next day, Charles meets the squad and uses his maxed-out charisma and compliments to win everyone over. Just like Alec, he recognizes Hinako as the idol Hina instantly. He starts hyping up everyone's photos, including Teresa's amateur shots. Charles hits the cafe next, where Yui is delighted by his prince energy, while Alec denies they're more than friends. Nyanko Big actually likes Charles, which makes Koru feel totally nerfed since the cat hates him. Charles sees the photos and shows sympathy for Mitsuyoshi's lost father. Koru invites the prince to a celebrity party, but Charles is already booked for another event. The girls are also occupied, meaning the whole party is busy. Yui concludes Mitsuyoshi is no match for this high-tier prince, leaving our MC wondering what that even means. The next day, the club joins the party in suits, while Hinako rocks traditional gear. Koru spots Charles with the girls and is shocked they actually showed up. Mitsuyoshi stares at Teresa for so long that her face starts to overheat. Charles and Alec go to mingle, while Kentaro focuses 100% on the food. Hajime finds a target woman and Hinako follows him, leaving Mitsuyoshi to just take photos since he's not a social gamer. Teresa heads to the restroom and spots a building that looks exactly like a Rainbow Shogun set, deciding to go on a mini-quest to explore it. In the ballroom, Charles asks Alec to dance while they wait for Teresa to respawn. The other girls are jealous of their high-level chemistry. While exploring, Mitsuyoshi and Teresa get caught in a sudden rainstorm. He offers his coat to protect her from the cold, asking if she's a rainbringer like in their first encounter. She remembers that it always rains when she tries to have a 10-10 day. While dancing, Charles and Alec discuss Teresa's new classmates. Teresa and Mitsuyoshi review their photos, and he shares some trivia about Nyanko Big's tale. After the dance, Alec realizes Teresa is missing and enters panic mode. Charles tells her to stay chill since Teresa is an adult now. The rain stops, and Teresa identifies the North Star, sharing memories of her nanny. Mitsuyoshi says his grandpa used to say the same thing about the star guiding their path. Alec finally finds them, and Teresa apologizes for making her teammate worry. Charles arrives to return the coat and escort Teresa home. The North Star in the night sky, AI-generated Shutterstock explore. At home, Teresa reaffirms her resolve to marry Charles and become queen, even though she's enjoying this high school simulation. Yui realizes Nyanko Big is missing after seeing his untouched food bowl. The cat took his girlfriend, a worn-out foxtail, with him. Grandpa says old cats sometimes go on one last trip, which upsets Yui. She hits her grandpa because she's not ready to let go of her childhood pet. Kentaro suggests they start a search party to find the missing cat. Grandpa takes over the cafe so Mitsuyoshi can join the hunt. The squad gears up for the mission. They bring food and laundry bags since Nyanko Big absolutely hates them. Teresa wants to help too, even though she has a date with Charles. Alec agrees to delay the meeting so they can assist in the rescue quest. Hajime is too busy shopping with Hinako to help the group. Kentaro finds a lot of cats, but none of them are the legendary Nyanko Big. He saves Yui from being hit by a van, showing his high reflexes. Koru is busy flirting with girls while using a photo of his own face instead of the cat's. Meanwhile, Teresa is just buying food while gathering intel, which earns her a scolding from Alec. Charles calls to check in, and it turns out he saw the cat in the park last night. The cat's foxtail fell into the water, so Charles helped him out. He guides the team to the spot where Nyanko Big was last seen heading. Charles literally asks a cat under a bench for directions, and it actually works. He directs them to a flower shop where they find Nyanko Big on the roof. The cat is ignoring them because he's focused on a new love interest across the street. It's Cherry, and Nyanko Big is preparing a leap of faith to reach her. He bumps into the glass and falls, but Yui catches him just in time. A woman named Chia comes out and thanks the squad for looking after the cat. Nyanko Big has been trying to bring his foxtail as a gift for Cherry. Chia pats Kentaro on the head before leaving, and Koru whispers that he knows it's Kentaro's crush. Yui overhears the tea and realizes it's not a happy ending for everyone. That night, Kentaro admits Chia only sees him as a younger brother NPC. Yui is heartbroken for him and cries on Teresa's shoulder. For the September contest, the club decides to go stargazing for the theme. Hajime says girls are like stars, and Charles mimics his weird behavior while driving. Mitsuyoshi jokes that Teresa will bring the rain again, but the forecast looks clear. They explore the area and get their fortunes, seeing who has the best luck stat. Koru tells Kentaro to just keep pulling for better luck like he does. Charles asks about love, and everyone has a different strategy. Hajime is deluding himself that Hina is simping for him, and when they ask Mitsuyoshi, he mentions Koru. But he's just talking about the rare fish he wants to photograph, not his feelings. Meanwhile, Charles is out here being a menace behind the wheel, making Koru fear for his life. They arrive to check the weather with Mitsuyoshi, who jokes that Teresa is basically a walking rain cloud. While waiting for the stars to come out, they hit up the shrine for some fortunes, and everyone's luck is all over the place. Koru tries to console Kentaro about his mid-tier luck. He tells him to just keep rolling the dice until he gets a SSR like him. Charles brings up the topic of love, and the whole group has a completely different take on it. Koru's only in love with himself, while Hajime is deep in a delusion that Hina is obsessed with him. When they ask the MC, he says Koru, but hold up, he's actually talking about a fish he's been photographing. Classic. After hitting the baths, it's time for a high-stakes ping-pong match between the boys. By the time Hajime finally spawns out of the bath, Koru has already obliterated Kentaro, while Mitsuyoshi just takes a narrow L after hitting the net. That night the rain starts falling and Alec's sleep schedule is completely nerfed. She catches Charles on a business call and realizes that even on a Japan vacation, his high-tier work duties never actually stop. Charles suggests some lo-fi beats to help her sleep, which is a vibe because once the rain clears, the squad heads out to the ultimate stargazing spot. On the way, they talk about Hajime speedrunning his way to college, which reminds everyone that Teresa and Alec will be leaving the server soon. The group is catching major feels, but Alec acts like an NPC claiming she's not affected since everything has an expiration date. Koru starts teasing her though, and suddenly she finally admits that she'll be a little sad to log out of this friendship. At the spot, they set up their camera gear with Mitsuyoshi's pro help, while Koru brags about his future famous photographer friend. Teresa admires his clear goals, which prompts the chef to be Koru to ask her about her own endgame dreams. Koru wants to be an op chef, while Teresa reveals she used to want to be a ballerina, but now she's just aiming for the happiness achievement. Mitsuyoshi brews some high-stamina coffee, but Koru, the guy who swore he'd stay awake, is the first one to hit the sleep button. While waiting for the sky to clear, Teresa offers Mitsuyoshi some water, but she almost yeets herself into the lake until the MC pulls her back just in time. She asks why he's always on the grind, and he explains that losing his parents made him feel like he had to speedrun adulthood. He asks if she's been through something similar, since she seemed to resonate with his father's final photo. And Teresa admits she's wanted to mature ever since she was 7 and accidentally made Alec cry. Alec is actually just faking being asleep and overhears the whole thing, leading Mitsuyoshi to advise her to just not repeat the same mistakes if she really regrets them. Then the stars finally show up, and there's a massive pause as they stare at each other before waking the rest of the guild. Mitsuyoshi captures an S-tier shot of Teresa, with her eyes literally glowing from the starlight. The next day, the girls see Charles off at the airport. But as soon as he's gone, Alec confronts Teresa about her obvious feelings for our MC. She reminds her that she's already engaged to Charles, which is a huge problem because 276. Teresa starts dreaming about her nanny Rachel, whose Rainbow Shogun stories are the reason she joined the Japan server in the first place. Rachel told her to experience everything and look to the North Star if she's lost, making Teresa wonder if catching feelings for Mitsuyoshi was part of that various experiences checklist. Back at school, the squad notices her behavior is looking pretty glitched. Kentaro says she's acting like a weird cat, but Alec claims she's just hyped for the new semester. Alec covers for her, claiming Teresa is just hyped for the new semester. In class, Mitsuyoshi spots a caterpillar in Teresa's hair and deletes it barehanded, earning a literal round of applause. Teresa thanks him in the weirdest way possible, making the whole room laugh. In the club room, Hina is worried, but Alec explains that Teresa is just reverting to her original factory settings. Mitsuyoshi is concerned, but Koru just thinks she's reached a new level of weirdness. Suddenly it starts raining, and the girls are stuck without an umbrella. So Teresa tries to dodge Mitsuyoshi, but she's got nowhere to go. The MC offers his umbrella and plans to wait for Koru. But it turns out Koru is also umbrella-less, so the boys have to do a rain dash together. They arrive at the cafe absolutely soaked, making the girls feel like they just griefed the boys. But Mitsuyoshi just blames Koru's lack of prep. Koru insists he won't catch a cold and borrows Mitsuyoshi's clothes for a quick skin swap. The next day is the big photo reveal for the contest, and every member presents their loot. Teresa shows a star-shaped rock, while Alec shares a pic of star-shaped ice cream, which Koru actually finds cute. Kentaro has a cat with a star design, while Koru still only has photos of himself. Hinako captures the Milky Way, but Hajime's quality is just built different. Finally, it's the MC's turn, but he faints the moment he stands up, leaving the squad shook. They carry Mitsuyoshi home, and Teresa volunteers to help at the cafe because she thinks she's the reason his HP hit 0. While serving NPCs, she finds out the MC almost never gets sick. Koru gives a health update on his temperature and food requests, but Yui's porridge is way too spicy for a sick man. An old couple leaves Teresa some tickets for a Rainbow Shogun show as a side quest reward. And while doing dishes, Yui sends her to fetch a bowl from Mitsuyoshi's room. Meanwhile, the rest of the club is struggling to open a jar until Alec uses her op strength to clear it. She remembers Teresa saying she'll still marry the prince no matter how she feels about the MC. Upstairs, the wind scatters Mitsuyoshi's photos, and Teresa realizes they're all pictures of the club guild members. She moves Nyanko big off his chest, wipes his sweat, and just gazes at him, until she finally breaks and kisses him while crying because she can't nerve her own heart. That weekend, she meets up with Mitsuyoshi at the castle where the story first started. They head to the Rainbow Shogun show, but first they visit the Star Tree. Teresa is amazed by the height, but she remembers the MC's fear of high places, even though he claims it's only airplanes he hates. She tells him to stop tanking the stress alone or he'll get sick again. She's hyped seeing all the Shogun merch on display. They hit a shooting gallery and score a rare rainbow fan and some limited edition candy. Mitsuyoshi wonders why the target fell when Teresa clearly missed, which is because the hitman-faced regular from the cafe was helping out from the shadows. The play starts and they have to run from the villain until the Shogun saves them. At the end, they chant the iconic lines and wave their fans to make a rainbow. They take a commemorative photo, and the staff mistaking them for a couple is a total critical hit. After buying souvenirs and eating rainbow rice bowls, Teresa explains that Rainbow Shogun has been her inspiration since she was a little kid. It turns out her nanny Rachel is actually a Japanese woman named Riko. Meanwhile, Alec is at the cafe alone, delivering a secret letter from Riko to Mitsuyoshi's grandpa. Mitsuyoshi says he can't imagine living abroad, which kills Teresa's mood, until he clarifies it's just the airplane thing again. He says he's actually impressed by her bravery to travel so far to a foreign server. She confirms she's having a 10-10 time in Japan. At the cafe, Grandpa asks Teresa about Riko. Koru arrives and finds out the MC is on a date with the blonde girl. Since Alec is solo, he invites her on a date and she actually says yes. She immediately cancels it though, laughing at how easy it was to tilt him. Koru compliments her smile, but her personality flip just scares him. But her sudden change in personality is honestly just scaring Koru. Later, Mitsuyoshi and Teresa go up the Star Tree for some photos. But then the rain god strikes again. He wonders about their rain luck, and Teresa calls it a blessing. Seeing a family take photos triggers the MC's trauma memories. He tells her the full story of his parents' death and how he regrets never telling them how he felt. Teresa is the ultimate healer here, telling him he just needs to not repeat that same error in the future. The rain stops, a rainbow spawns, and he grabs a photo of it. The clear floor of the tower suddenly makes his vertigo kick in though. Before they part, he gives her a Shogun keychain and their photo as a quest reward. Teresa says her goodbyes, and he almost stops her to confess, but his social stats fail him. That night, he chooses a photo of Teresa with rainbow eyes for his contest entry. He plans to ask her about it tomorrow, but suddenly they find out Alec and Teresa have left the Japan server. They check their apartment and it's been completely cleared out, meaning they aren't coming back. The squad assumes they had high-level reasons for ghosting the group. Mitsuyoshi is left wondering why she vanished without a trace. A month passes and the server feels empty without them. Mitsuyoshi is still getting triggered by every rainbow-themed item he sees. Yui is missing a book that Alec was reading, and suddenly 360. Hajime asks Mitsuyoshi for the reason behind the girls leaving, but he's just as clueless. The distraction makes him fumble Hajime's order, proving his focus is still nerfed. Koru stays over to keep him company. They find Nyanko big messing with Teresa's stuff in his room. Koru gets attacked by the cat, but the MC doesn't even take a photo like he usually does. Koru points out that he's basically stopped taking pictures entirely. The MC realizes he even forgot to submit his entry to the club room. New NPCs move into the girl's old place the next day. The MC checks the club room, but his photo is nowhere to be found. Christmas is coming, and Koru promises to cook an Estia feast to cheer him up. They see a mannequin that looks like Teresa, but the MC tries to skip the topic. Koru tries to get him to open up his inventory of feelings, but he just eats a meat bun at him and walks away. Later, the old couple returns after the husband's recovery quest. He says he just wanted to tell his wife how much he loves her before he hits the game over screen. This triggers the MC's regrets so hard that he throws away the box of Teresa's things. Then, in a moment of pure pain, he throws away the box with all of Teresa's stuff. The club does a year-end cleaning, and the MC has to erase Teresa and Alec from the guild schedule. They find a lost SD card with a video of the group laughing together from their trial days. The memories hit him like a truck gun, and he finally realizes his true feelings and runs home to save that box from the trash. Koru finds him dejected on his bed and asks the big question, "Do you like her?" Koru admits he submitted her photo for him, and it actually won an award. The MC feels like a level 1 rookie for only realizing the truth after she's gone. He wishes he could tell her his true feelings if he had one more chance. Grandpa enters with the saved box and tells him to stop crying and start a new quest, find her. Koru thinks the only play left is to hunt her down in Larsenburg, and Mitsuyoshi actually agrees to the quest, even though riding an airplane is basically his final boss. While the MC prepares for takeoff, Koru secretly follows him like a stealthy teammate. And even after landing in Larsenburg, Mitsuyoshi is so traumatized he's literally glued to his seat. Meanwhile, Teresa is back on her royal grind as the future queen with Alec as her support. Unaware that Mitsuyoshi spent 3 hours at the airport just trying to recover his stamina. Before he left, Grandpa gave him a bag of loot for a local contact who could help him out, containing rainbow firecrackers, coffee, and a secret letter for Rico. Koru gets distracted by the smell of hot chocolate and loses his party leader, then nearly loses his wallet before a staff member returns it, while Mitsuyoshi finally reaches an enormous mansion. Back at the cafe server, the club members are vibing over Koru's cooking and wondering where the boys vanished to. Meanwhile, Koru is out in the streets sneezing from the gossip when he spots Teresa's face on a picture frame. He shockingly learns she's a literal princess, but back at the palace, the guards are completely ignoring Mitsuyoshi's presence. Inside, Teresa is prepping for her big event, but once she's alone, she opens her inventory to look at her rainbow Shogun souvenirs. Rachel enters with snacks, but the real drama is in the other room, where Charles entrusts Alec with his bracelet, leading to a moment where Alec hugs his suit. Teresa witnesses the secret feelings and drops her food in shock. But outside, Rachel finally spots Mitsuyoshi and realizes he's the spitting image of his grandfather. She invites him in, revealing she used to work part-time at the family cafe, and soon Charles enters to greet our MC. Teresa confronts Alec about her habit of touching her arm when she lies about her feelings for Charles. But Alec snaps back that her heart doesn't matter before Charles arrives with a surprise guest. Teresa is floored to see Mitsuyoshi, who explains he's there to deliver a letter and get closure on her disappearance. Alec tries to dismiss him because of royal dinner plans, but Charles gives the two some 1v1 time to catch up. Teresa finally leaks her true identity as a princess destined to marry Charles, apologizing for the secret law, which leads Mitsuyoshi to leave without ever confessing his feelings, though Rachel slips a secret item into his bag. That night, Teresa is crying in her room, while Koru finally catches up to a tearful Mitsuyoshi. Koru is shook to learn about the arranged marriage. Meanwhile, Rachel tells Teresa to look to the North Star and go talk to the teammate who's worried about her. Koru realizes why Teresa was always so out of touch with commoner life, and he's furious that Mitsuyoshi is letting his feelings stay hidden. Our MC thinks his heart isn't important and tries to walk away, but an invitation falls out of his bag. Inside the palace, Alec tells Teresa that love is a mystery, and they both end up crying over their failed romance roots. Charles overhears the heartbreak from the hallway and retreats with the bouquet he prepared, while Koru is busy grabbing Mitsuyoshi by the collar to give him a reality check. He lists all the times Mitsuyoshi broke character for her, then uses the invitation as a hostage, but the wind yeets the paper into the canal, forcing the MC to dive into the water to save it. It's a high-speed chase through the current, but he fortunately catches it before it hits the rails. The day of the royal ball arrives and Charles escorts Teresa, telling her he's done pretending he doesn't know where her heart lies. He asks if she'll actually be happy with him, but Mitsuyoshi interrupts the scene before she can answer. He shows his VIP pass and demands a talk so he won't regret this run forever, leading them to an empty hallway where he finally confesses that he's been attracted to her since day one. Mitsuyoshi says those 3 magic words and apologizes for being a bother, which makes the princess start leaking tears. She admits she ran away to Larsenburg just to nerve her feelings for him, and they both swear never to forget this love as they finally lock in their relationship. Mitsuyoshi returns to Japan just in time for graduation, and while the news reports that Charles broke the engagement for true love, the MC is back on his photography grind. He's taking pics at their original meeting spot when the rain starts, but a mysterious girl offers him an umbrella. It's Teresa, and she's here to stay, ending the series with a legendary kiss under the cherry blossoms. And that is how our MC finally cleared the romance route. Charles overhears the drama from the hallway and decides to bounce without even giving her the flowers. Once they find the invite, Koru tells Mitsuyoshi to stop being a coward and go confess, but the MC thinks he'll just be a bother. Koru drops some truth bombs, listing every time the MC went out of his way for her, proving he's already fallen hard. He literally grabs him by the collar, telling him to stop capping and just face his feelings. He threatens to drop the invitation into the water to bait him, but the wind actually does the job for him. Before he can even think, Mitsuyoshi pulls a full-on protagonist move and dives into the water after it. It gets snagged on a rock for a second, but the current is too fast and carries it away. There are rails up ahead, but Mitsuyoshi clutches up and grabs it just in time. The big day finally arrives, and Koru sends the MC off with a good luck soldier. Charles acts like a true gentleman and escorts Teresa to the grand ball. He tells her he's done playing dumb, which leaves Teresa totally confused. He asks if she can be happy with him, but before she can respond, Mitsuyoshi shows up, and Alec tries to kick him out like a common NPC. But he flashes the invite and demands a talk with Teresa so he doesn't have to live with any what-ifs. They let him through, and the two head to a private hallway for the final showdown. He finally lets it all out, confessing that even though he never cared about love, she's been living rent-free in his head since day one. He says, "I like you," and apologizes for being a mess, which absolutely breaks her into tears. She admits she ran back home just to escape her feelings for him, but she never expected him to cross the world to find her. They both confess their love and promise that no matter what happens, they'll never forget this moment. Back in Japan, the school year is wrapping up, and it's time for Hajim's graduation. They celebrate at the cafe, while the photography club stays as chaotic as ever. The news reports that Charles actually called off his engagement for true love, while Mitsuyoshi is still out here chasing his dream. While he's at the spot where they first met, the rain starts falling and